We just witnessed the most terrifying thing about the Los Angeles Lakers as they come out and send a statement against the Utah Jazz in a game that saw Luka Doncic play well, Austin Reaves continue to shine, and LeBron continuing to be LeBron James. We're going to break it all down in this episode, as well as a couple of players that played a lot better than I expected, and it's going to be a very exciting rest of the season. There's also some interesting things going on surrounding the things off the court. But before we get into it, folks, quick reminder, hit that subscribe button. If you're a part of the 86% who aren't subscribed to the channel, we're on the road now to 15,000 subscribers. So if you're part of that percentage, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you're enjoying the daily Lakers content. But guys, this was a fantastic game. About as good as it could have went. Now, granted, it is against the Utah Jazz, but they are still an NBA team, even though they didn't look like it tonight. And it was a very big win. You know, Luka Doncic comes in, his first game with the Lakers was a little bit passive, was showing off his passing, and he looks healthy, and that is the main thing for tonight's game. But I want to get your thoughts on this, Okechi. We'll start with you. Obviously, you look at the box score, things looked really good. You have Dalton Knecht sitting a bit awkwardly on the bench, which we'll dive into a little bit later. But Okechi, Luka's debut, 14 points, struggled a little bit from three, but they got the job done, and it was in pretty impressive fashion.
I mean, the Lakers were scoring this is probably the best that the Laker offense. There's so much that this Laker offense can get to with how good Luka Doncic can really be. You can tell that he just was still finding his wind. Really, like the 1 of 7 from three. It doesn't really concern me too much. Like he'll find his rhythm. But the Lakers, who have been playing extremely well, this is what their sixth straight win now, and just tearing through teams left and right, good or bad. So it's a very good thing to see with the Los Angeles Lakers, just having all the guys not only play well together, and now you add Luka Doncic to this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Hunter, what do you think, man? How?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy that the storyline entering this game was Luka Doncic's debut, and it's every other single Laker that ends up shining in this one. Not that Luka played bad. He only played in 24 minutes. He's been out since Christmas. I mean, the guy hasn't played basketball in since 2024, like literally. So for him to come here, do his thing, I think he got to his spots just fine. The chemistry is only going to get better from here on out. But Austin Reaves was on absolute heater since Saturday against the Pacers. He didn't score 45 again, but he continued his hot streak. Rui Hachimura playing some of the best basketball in his career right now, and the amount of open looks he got off Luka Doncic passes. I mean, how many corner threes did he get from Luka? Like, I think he had at least 2, if not 3 of those. Yep. And then Gabe Vincent continues to prove us wrong. I kept calling him Cardio Gabe the whole season because he kept putting in zeros in the box the stats, but now he's been playing much better and became a player who seemed like someone who the Lakers were ready to ship out to a guy who they wanted to keep at the deadline. And then, of course, you got Jackson Hayes, who's by default your starting center, but he's been playing pretty well. And, the first play of the game was a LeBron lob to Luka, and then LeBron lob to Hayes, and Luka, his first pass assist was to Jackson Hayes. That's the type of player he wants to play with. And then I'd be remiss, guys, to not mention Jordan Goodwin. I mean, if I'm Rob Pelinka, I'm the front office, I'm stopping what I'm doing right now. I'm sitting Jordan Goodwin down. I'm like, you know what? Don't even go back home. You're coming into the front office. You're coming in my office, and we're signing you to a full-way contract here, getting you off the 2-day, and someone's getting cut because Jordan Goodwin has proven that he deserves to be on this team.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the game, the big storyline, I mean, there's obviously a million of them, but one of the biggest things was how Austin Reaves was going to play as, I guess, the 2 guard, or wherever you want to place him, off ball more now with Luka on the team as well as LeBron. And he looked pretty good to me. He looked very seamless. And obviously, Luka wasn't he was still pretty aggressive, putting up 14 shots, but he usually averaged, 20 to 23 shots a game. But Austin Reaves, like you mentioned, Hunter, looked really, really good. He had 9 rebounds tonight as well. And even Dorian Finney-Smith, like everybody, especially Rui tonight, everyone's going to benefit from having Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James on your lineup. Dorian Finney-Smith's going to get more open threes. Rui Hachimura's going to get more open threes, and he's having a breakout season when it comes to three-point shooting. Everybody else looked elevated tonight when it comes to at least the starting lineup. And yeah, I mean, Jordan Goodwin, they're going to have to make a move here. I mean, Cam Reddish is probably going to be on his way out. But I want to ask you, Okechi, here as well. When it comes to Jackson Hayes, I guess you, Hunter, after as well. The question now is, we know they're in talks with a lot of different guys regarding that center position. And tonight, especially off rip, it looked like Jackson Hayes was fitting in seamlessly. I think no matter what center they get in the buyout market, whether it be a guy like Alex Len or Daniel Tice, whoever they end up going with, I wouldn't be surprised if they keep Jackson Hayes in that starting lineup just to have a lob threat there with Luka off rip and then have a backup center with whoever they get rather than actually going out. 'Cause I see a lot of talk about a starting center and getting those. there's just not that many available in the buyout market, especially given the fact that the Lakers are above the first apron and can't sign any of, I guess, the big fish, even though there aren't really any available when it comes to centers, regardless.
I mean, the big nugget of news I think that came out the other day was that Jackson Hayes and Luka Doncic have the same agent, and they both went out to dinner the other day. So they got together talking a little bit, and then about what this could possibly look like, and then we saw it. Just Jackson Hayes might shoot 80-90% for the rest of the season because I envision he's going to get nothing but
Yeah.
dunks, just free runs to the rim. He loves to run the floor, which is a positive thing about Jackson Hayes. And he's really good when he gets up on that trampoline because no one, and I mean no one, is reaching Jackson Hayes up at the level that he's getting these passes from. And you can tell the timing was still kind of off for some of the folks. So Luka had a few turnovers. So did um some weren't ready for a couple of passes. Really, like he throws like just fastballs. It seems like with both either hand. So like both I think Rui and even Dorian Finney-Smith too, because he hasn't played with him in quite some time.
Yep.
They weren't really ready for those really hot passes that Luka Doncic was handing them. So Hunter, you're right that once his chemistry started to grow better with his team, Luka Doncic is going to fit even more seamlessly. And with the way the Lakers are playing, I really don't know how teams are going to stop this when they get things going.
Yeah, and on top of that too, I mean, you talk about the Lakers, well, trying to trade for Mark Williams. We talk about the size, the ability to finish above the rim, the vertical spacing he provides. Well, he's not as good, but Jackson Hayes does provide those same skills as well. Like he is an A-level athlete, right? Like I'm not saying A-level basketball player, but A-level athlete. Like Jackson Hayes is a top-tier athlete at the center position, and what he does well is what works well with Luka Doncic. And that's why Jackson Hayes said himself that he wanted to play with Luka his entire career. And he used to go up to him after the games being like, damn, like, if I was in New Orleans, I'd love to be with you in Dallas. But now they get that chance together again to share the same agent in Los Angeles now. And I think that Luka Doncic is the type of player to bring the best out of Jackson Hayes. I'm not saying I don't know what Jackson Hayes' ceiling is capped at, but again, like you guys both talked about, the fact that the buyout market is just not going to be great. I think there's a very high likelihood that even if the Lakers do end up getting somebody, and they very well could, Jackson Hayes still will end up being the top center for the Lakers this season.
Yeah, that's a very real possibility. And especially because let's not forget, anybody that get in the buyout market, Jackson Hayes has been slowly gaining chemistry with obviously not Luka Doncic, but LeBron James and everybody else in that starting lineup. And they're trying to win games. Now, of course, he has the most chemistry there. A couple other notes here before I wrap up. The Lakers were scoring so fast, they almost had 100 plus points going into the fourth quarter. And a very interesting note here, they have led by 20 plus points in 9 of their last 11 games. And it has just been an absolutely dominant showing for this team all the way through. You can see this here. Shout out to Mike Trudell for some stats here. Over an even larger sample, the Lakers are a plus 102 over the last 10 first quarters and have a net rating of 39.4, plus 39.4, sorry. So it's at the point now where the Lakers are coming out hot. This was in a game, again, the Jazz are not a very good team. That being said, the Lakers played like they weren't a very good team. Not every team in the NBA does that. Not every contender does that. And they're at a point now where they're able to just, gel so well. It's a great game. And we've been talking about it off camera. They play the Jazz again on Wednesday. So now that's even more of an opportunity for Luka Doncic and everybody to get back in a rhythm. Any final thoughts, guys, before I wrap up?
I mean, I'll just say this point here for the Los Angeles Lakers. Just this, I'm really excited to see what JJ Redick does. Just some of the stuff they were running with either their double drag strings or in their horn set. Just Luka was screening for LeBron and LeBron was screening for Luka. There's so many possibilities of how much this can work, and it's only going to get better with time because of they have the right players around them. Yes, we lament Jackson Hayes of all the season of some can do, but the things he can do can really help this team. I do DFS and Vando as also other satellite players, low usage guys who can do a lot of things for you off the basketball, which is going to be need screen setting, offensive rebounds, things of that nature. And then Rui Hachimura, hopefully Dalton Knecht. We'll see what happens there. That can add to the shooting paralysis because that three-headed monster of Luka, Braun
LeBron.
and Austin is going to be just tremendous to watch.
Yeah, I think JJ Redick, what he sees with Luka Doncic is the playbook just opens up, right? Like there is now endless possibilities of what they can run. They can kind of run your more like, I guess, modern day style of basketball. When you have a dominant big man like Anthony Davis, you have to feed the post. Like that's how the Lakers had to play. And not that they didn't win a lot of games. Of course, they won a championship with Anthony Davis. But with Luka Doncic, I mean, I think there was 2 times in that game where we just saw LeBron sprint down the court and Luka just threw him, a pass all the way down the court. It was almost like,
D-Wade and
quarterback.
LeBron.
It's almost like
Yeah.
a quarterback throwing a pass to a wide receiver down the field, running a go route, if you guys watch football out there. So, that's pretty much like that kind of chemistry. I mean, we saw LeBron do that with Anthony Davis a lot, but LeBron now is the gunner instead. And, the horn sets you were talking about, they're running that with Austin Reaves as the ball handler and LeBron and Luka Doncic at your elbows. I mean, it is crazy. And then, Gabe Vincent's going to get open shots. Rui Hachimura is going to get a lot of one-on-one ISOs now in that starting lineup. So it is pretty insane to think. And also, I mean, 47 points at halftime, too. I know that the Jazz are like a G League team at this point, but the defense is translating. They didn't miss a beat with Luka in there. And it seems like the Lakers are fighting their identity and they're playing with this type of spirit that we really haven't seen in honestly a while.
Yeah, and the world is now JJ Redick's oyster as a first-year head coach. You have, I mean, a couple of the best players in the NBA, obviously, arguably the best player of all time, LeBron James, and now it's going to be up to him, as well as, of course, the players themselves to continue to see how this fits in. But that'll wrap it up. Let us know down below what your thoughts are on Luka Doncic's Laker debut. A lot of exciting games coming up, including the Mavericks game on February 25th. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest Laker news, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. See you guys later.